It's finally come for us. AI mixing. Last week, A-list mixer Spike Stent announced Spike AI, his AI mixing plugin that will be coming out in 2025. Today, we're going to get into the good, the bad, and the inevitable of AI mixing. Welcome back. I'm Travis Ferentz, a Grammy-nominated recording engineer and mixer, and I started this channel to help music production pros like yourself navigate a career in this business. So, my credit list might not look like Spike's, but mixing is my gig and it's how I make my living. So it should come as no surprise that I was as frustrated as what seems like the entire industry when I heard about Spike AI. I even let my emotions get the best of me and joined in on the onslaught of comments. Not super stoked about that, but I did it. I've since cooled, and I've also had the chance to talk to some really smart people about AI. Some of those conversations will be on the podcast, by the way, so make sure you subscribe. And after some reflection and thought, I decided I wanted to do a video. Here's what this video is. It's my thoughts as a professional mixer with 20 years of experience as to why this could be good, why this could be bad, and where the outrage over this is coming from, and whether it's justified or not. And this is solely my opinion. Lots of other people have great perspectives on this. There's a lot to think about, but I want this video to be a conversation starter. So if you've got comments, you know where to put them. What this video will not be is it will not be a hit piece on a product that nobody can even use yet, nor will it be an attack on another industry professional. It also probably won't be as anti-AI as you or even I would like it to be. Before we get into all that, let's do a quick rundown on what we know and don't know about Spike AI. I'll make this super quick since I know this info is already out there. So this is the website. You may have seen it already. There is not much info here. The description, Spike AI is an ethical AI-driven platform that revolutionizes music mixing by providing every artist access to high-quality, professional-grade mixing. Services typically reserved for platinum recording artists. It's a little harder to read than I expected, but we're gonna roll with it. And then we don't just harness the power of artificial intelligence, we amplify human creativity. Our mission is to ensure that artists maintain their unique voice in an industry where AI is often seen as a threat to individuality. This is the kind of language that you see basically with every AI thing that does anything. And finally, driven by a commitment to ethical AI, we prioritize transparency, inclusivity, and creative empowerment. Now, this is something that I want to bring attention to because, in my opinion, ethical AI development should involve the disclosure of training data. You've got people out there arguing that a mixer's choices are their intellectual property. So, is this trained only on Spike's mixes or other mixes as well? And if so, do those people know, and does it matter? Also, should the master owner be aware, etc.? Topic for a whole other video, but anyway, then there's also an article online at Music Connection that has a screenshot. You can see what looks like track names, some buses, some faders, a prompt box. The article feels like a PR piece to me, but that's the reality of marketing, so I'm fine with that. I don't really care. Okay, now that we know what the basic concept is, where does this fit into the mixing space? I think this targets artists and producers that have enough technical know-how to make their own music, but don't have the budget to hire a mixer of any rate. The people that will get the most use out of this and the most value probably know how to get a mix done, but they aren't able to get it to the best it can be. And that's either because of a skill gap or just lack of perspective after writing and producing the entire track. The target is definitely not pro mixers. And the marketing language, I think, reflects that very obviously. But despite the outrage, every mixer on the planet is going to do the trial on this thing. And I am guessing more people will keep it than we'll let on. So let's get into the potential good. And I'm not going to specifically talk about Spike AI anymore. I'm going to talk about what is the inevitable future, which is AI mixing of some sort. So, can AI save us time? Definitely. Can AI make us more creative? I think so, but it's going to take a willingness to experiment. Can AI make us better? I'm going to say this depends on your definition of better. Is better faster? Then maybe. Does better mean an objectively more talented and skilled mixer? I say no to that, and we'll get into it later, but I don't believe that AI is going to make you more skilled. I actually think it's going to do the opposite. So what could be cool about an AI mixing plugin? Well, for one, if it's made correctly, then you'd be able to mix on top of it or after the AI. There's a lot more possibility for creativity and time saving if you can, for lack of a better term, collaborate with the AI. On the other hand, if it was a standalone software that just spit out a stereo mix that you could only adjust with prompts, then I think the results would be pretty average and no real artist would want to use it. But imagine the possibilities if you could work in tandem with the AI. You could remove all the tedious, non-creative work, stuff like edits, cleanup, matching the rough mix. We all hate that. Setting everything up the way you like. Mixers like Spike have assistants that do that stuff for them so that they can come in and do the thing that only they can do. Put their sonic stamp on something. What if we could all have that? To just sit down and be creative? I mean, I have combinations of SoundFlow scripts and a human assistant that help me get rid of as much of that as possible, but I can only afford to pay somebody so much. What if I could download files and 2 minutes later have a balanced prep session that I can just mix? Now, that's not what Spike AI is, but it's not out of the realm of possibility, right? Imagine training an AI on your own preferences. So every mix is closer and closer, and you can just do the final touches. Give it the life and emotion that only a human can give. Which leads me to my next thought. I said earlier that I don't think the AI will make you a more skilled mixer, but I do think that the existence of AI will force many people to get better. The reality is, if you aren't a great mixer and the AI mixing is better, cheaper, and faster, then you are not going to get gigs. So I think this will drive people to get better, train their ear, and stand out from the crowd. And the X factor here is going to be your sonic taste. Like I mentioned earlier, it would be great to sit down and just do your thing to a mix. So if you haven't currently developed your sound yet, then I think that's what you should be focusing on as AI starts to insert itself into the mixing landscape. Artists and producers that are hiring mixers are going to start moving more and more towards choosing a person with a distinct sound. Doing a well-balanced, clean, nice mix is going to be the first thing AI will be good at. Doing a Chad Blake or a Sean Everett mix is not happening for a long time, if ever. Mixers like that are breaking rules and thinking outside the box every day. So I've shared an idea in the past that I think is worth bringing back here. I think there are 3 stages to a mix career. Stage 1 is you have no clue what's going on. You're overdoing everything and it probably sounds crap. But it's okay because artists and producers you're working with, they're in the same stage, and that's how everybody learns. Stage 2, you've got all the skills figured out now, and you're working with people who also have their craft figured out. So you get super obsessed with matching the rough mix and honoring the artist's vision to the point that you have kind of a sterile mix. And finally, stage 3, you learn to understand the artist's vision and blend it with your own style. And that's why people come to you, because you have a sound. Now, thinking about AI, stage 1 is going to happen a lot less because those inexperienced artists are probably going to be using AI to finish their mix. As for stage 2, AI is definitely going to be able to make the producer's rough 10% better, which really just leaves stage 3. That's going to be the only stage that exists. And I'm going to use this to start to move towards the bad. If learning your craft by doing bad mixes is replaced by AI, and learning to match and improve the rough mix is replaced by AI, how do you ever make it to stage 3? How do you learn the skills if you aren't doing them? And this, I think, is where it gets weird. If an AI understands the skills of EQ, compression, saturation, panning, depth, etc., does the mixer also need to understand those to direct it to reflect their sonic tastes and to help the AI honor the artist's vision? I don't know. I hope so, but I honestly don't know. And this brings us to the first and biggest negative impact that I see with AI mixing. I think eventually it kills the craft. Do I think it hurts me or my peers or anybody with an established mixing career already? No. Do I think it hurts the up-and-comers who are cutting their teeth right now? Some of you that are watching this video? Not really. Because we've all learned and are still learning the craft the way it is today. But what about an 8-year-old kid who doesn't know that engineering and mixing is a career yet? They're going to grow up with the possibility that they could prompt an AI to do a great mix, potentially by only making suggestions based on their creativity, without even knowing what they're asking for is compression or what compression is. This is a crazy thought. When I started in studios, I didn't think I'd basically be the last generation to come up through the traditional studio system. But as technology changed, that became pretty apparent. And along those lines, I definitely never thought that I could be part of the last generation to mix music the way it's been done for 80+ years. But that could be possible, which I'm not gonna lie, which makes me sad, because passing knowledge down to people that are excited about something has been the way of the world for centuries. It's the apprenticeship model that so many trades are built on. In our industry, it's clearly seen in the studios, and technology has allowed the engineering greats to share even more with people who aren't in studios, with platforms like Mix with the Masters or Pure Mix. And now, AI could one day render all of that pointless. I do think that there will always be people that want to make records the way they were made. It happens today, right, with bands that want to track to tape or play down live in the room. So I think that will always be a thing to a certain extent. But those are already outliers in today's music scene. That already only supports a small number of careers, which brings me to the next very obvious negative here. There will be job loss. There's no way around it. If AI is enabling artists or producers to finish their music faster, better, and cheaper, people will use it. The transactional clients that pop up on your website will disappear. They're just price shopping anyway, right? You don't need them. Marketplaces like Sound Better, probably no need for those either, because that client base is generally very low budget. They will also move to AI. It is very possible that making a record the way it is made today could become a boutique service not available to everyone, solely because of the fact that there will be a lot less people making a living doing it. Basic economics, supply and demand. Fewer engineers doing the thing means the thing costs more. That drives more people to AI. It makes it even further the norm. Cycle repeats. I mean, that's pretty speculative and doom and gloom, but it's not impossible. And we should talk about rates. I think this hurts rates as well. Let's go to a hypothetical here. AI mixing is embraced by pro mixers. It allows them to deliver great mixes at a rapid pace. It's like the golden era of amazing mixes. They're just everywhere. I don't think that's going to happen, but this is a hypothetical, okay? So can you still charge a premium for something that used to take you a day or two and now takes you an hour or two? Does that mean you're going to make less money, or are you going to be doing more mixes? It becomes that balance of, are people paying for your time, or are they paying for your perspective? Which goes back to anchoring those sonic tastes. And the last one before we move on, I just don't think it's going to be very fun. I don't want to sit in front of my speakers and prompt an AI to boost 8K on an SSL. I want to turn the knob, I want to push the mouse, I want to mess around and find something cool and unique for every song. Typing into a prompt box just sounds like the dumbest thing in the world to me. But then again, this is how I learned to mix. That 8-year-old kid, it's gonna be a different story for him. And this is the root of the outrage over Spike AI. There are thousands of people that learn to craft a specific way, and they are afraid that it will change. And because of that change, they won't have a gig anymore. That outrage against Spike is fully based on fear. That was where my reaction came from. I immediately thought, I have kids, what will I do when the AI takes my job? So it's not surprising that the reaction was what it was. Humans have a strong survival instinct. We see a threat and we have to react to it. It's natural. And I think it's intensified by the scarcity mindset that already runs rampant with engineers and producers. Many of us already believe that there isn't enough work. And so when something threatens to validate that fear, it's going to be even more of a trigger. So what I've come to realize after some thought is that many of us are afraid of this because it's different. It threatens our core values, right? We're engineers. We love to be rooted in our beliefs about microphones and plugins and gear. We will live and die by those. We refuse to change to a fault. There were people that never wanted to stop recording to tape, and some of those people ultimately ended their careers because of that choice. The reality is that times change. The way most of us mix records right now is not going to be the way it's done in 15 years, whether there's AI doing it or not. That doesn't make the future wrong, it just makes it different. So we have a choice of adapting in one way or another. I think this is going to be a tape to computer style moment. Some of us will not allow AI into our lives, and some of those may never work again. Others may embrace AI too much and hurt what is uniquely them, and they may not work again either. So after a week of thinking about this, I'm open to using AI tools. The idea that I could focus on my favorite part of mixing is exciting, but there are a lot of frightening aspects to this as well. But I do think the only thing I'm sure about is that to dismiss the existence of AI entirely is going to be worse for my livelihood than trying it out. Like I said, I have zero interest. I mean, zero interest in prompting a mix. But I'm open to see what tools people create. Spike AI is just the beginning. No matter how great it is or isn't, the generations of tools that come after, they're just going to get better and better. So when it comes to AI mixing, I stand at 50-50 whether it's good or bad, and I think that only time can sway that balance one way or the other. If you enjoyed this one and you want my opinion on mastering and the value of working with humans, be sure to check out Mastering is Dead.